Welcome students. Today we are going to learn Standard Ninth, Subject Science and Technology Part 2, Lesson number 8, Useful and Harmful Microbes. Let's learn about useful microorganism Rhizobium. It is a symbiotic bacteria. Rhizobium occurs in the root nodules of leguminous plants like fenugreek, groundnut and soybean, etc. Root nodule means a small swelling on a root as you can see in the alongside figure. One can observe rhizobium by using following steps. First, take a plantlet of fenugreek, groundnut or any other bean and sterilize it with 3 to 5% solution of hydrogen peroxide. Afterwards, keep it in 70% solution of ethyl alcohol for 4 to 5 minutes. Then clean the roots with the sterile water and take thin sections of the root nodules. Then select the good section and place it in a solution of safranin for 2 to 3 minutes. Here safranin acts as an indicator. Then place the stained section on a glass slide. Cover it with a cover slip and observe it under the compound microscope. Then we would be able to see pinkish rod shaped microbes under microscope as shown in the following diagram. And these are the rhizobium bacteria. Let's learn the role and importance of rhizobium. This is mainly related to the nitrogen fixation process, whichever we have learned in nitrogen cycle. Rhizobia living in the root nodules supply nitrates, nitrites and amino acids to plant and in exchange get energy in the form of carbohydrates from it. Such a naturally beneficial relationship is called symbiosis or symbiotic association. Rhizobia produce nitrogenous compounds from atmospheric nitrogen. However, for this process of nitrogen fixation, they need leguminous plants like beans, sweet peas, soya bean, etc. as a host. Beans and pulses are rich in proteins due to nitrogenous compounds made available by rhizobia. After harvesting of leguminous crop, the leftover roots and other plants parts are deliberately dumped in farm soil to maintain its bacteria population. Deliberately means purposely. The use of rhizobium has helped to reduce the use of chemical fertilizers and thereby their adverse effects. It has also helped to reduce expenses on fertilizers and thus works to the benefit of farmers. Now let's turn to another useful microorganism, yeast. For the observation of yeast, let's study the following activities. Activity number 1. Take a spoonful of active dry yeast, mix 2 spoonfuls of sugar, add in a lukewarm water containing bottle and then fix a balloon on the mouth of bottle and observe it. After 10 minutes, the balloon starts slowly inflating as yeast feeds on the sugar and produces carbon dioxide along with ethanol and gets trapped inside balloon. This activity shows yeast produces gases. Activity number 2. Mix lime water, that is calcium hydroxide, with the gas accumulated in the balloon. Calcium hydroxide turns into milky white solution of calcium carbonate. This activity explains yeast produces carbon dioxide gas. Activity number 3. To observe yeast under compound microscope. Take a drop of the solution from the same bottle on glass slide. Then put a cover slip over it. After observing under compound microscope, we would be able to see colorless oval cells. These are the yeast cells. Some of those cells may have small round bodies attached to them, as you can see in the figure. These are the new daughter cells of yeast formed by the method of asexual reproduction called budding. Now let's have a look upon the characteristics of yeast. Yeast is a heterotrophic fungal microbe that grows on carbon compounds due to non-green in color. Yeast is a unicellular fungus with 1500 different species in existence. The yeast cell is eukaryotic type of cell. Yeast reproduces asexually by the process of budding as shown in the figure below. Now let's learn about the uses of yeast. All the uses of yeast involves process of fermentation. In previous activities, yeast grows and multiplies very quickly due to the carbon compounds in the sugar solution. In the process of obtaining nutrition, yeast cells convert the carbohydrates in that solution into alcohol and carbon dioxide. This process is called fermentation. In the process of formation of bread, bread becomes spongy due to addition of yeast in its dough. Yeast reproduces rapidly and produces carbon dioxide gas while respiring. This gas fills the dough and increases its volume, making it to rise, thus making the bread appears spongy and fluffy as shown in the alongside figure. Therefore, yeast is playing important role in the process of making the bread. Thank you.